राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरे जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरे गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल नदी बिहारी गौर हरि नदी बिहारी गौर हरि मायापुर चंद्रा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो जय निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो जय गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति वेदांत संस्कृतोपाद की जाए जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाए अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वंद की जाए नमाचार्य सरदास ठाकुर की जाए प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जाए ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जाए श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाए गंगा यमुना की जाए भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जाए समवेत भक्त वृंद की जाए हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाए निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल all reach to assemble devotees Hare Krishna all reach to assemble devotees Hare Krishna all reach to assemble devotees Hare Krishna all reach to assemble devotees all reach to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Prabhupada की जाए ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधनामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे भगवान की जाए Thank you for joining. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 contents of Gita summarized verse number 25 to 28. Chapter 2 contents of Gita summarized verse number 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Tat Tat share okay reading from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 25 अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयम् उच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुम् अर्हसि अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयम् उच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयम् उच्यते तस्मात् एवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि. Word to word translation. Avyakta, invisible. I am this soul. Achintya, inconceivable. I am this soul. Avikarya, unchangeable. I am this soul. Uchyate is said. Tasmat, therefore. Evam, like this. Viditva, knowing it well. Enam, this soul. Not, do not. Anusochitam, to lament. Arhasi, you deserve. Translation. By Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Vijay. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Please repeat. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Verse number 26. अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि. Word to word translation. Atha, if, however. Cha, also. Enam, this soul. Nityajatam, always born. Nityam, forever. Va, either. Manase, you so think. Mrutam, dead. Tata, api, still. Tvam, you. Mahavaho, O mighty armed one. No, never. Enam, about the soul. Sochitam, to lament. Arhasi, deserve. Translation. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament. O mighty armed. Please repeat. If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament. O mighty armed. Verse number 27. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्योर् ध्रुवं जन्मामृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्ये अर्धे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यो ध्रुवं जन्मामृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्ये अर्धे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यो ध्रुवं जन्मामृतस्य च तस्मात् अपरिहार्ये अर्धे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Word to word translation. Jatasya, one who has taken his birth, he is certainly dhruva, a fact. Mrityu, death. Dhruvam, it is also a fact. Janma, birth. Mritasya, of the dead. Cha, also. Tasmat, therefore. Apariharye, of that which is unavoidable. Ardhe, in the matter. Na, do not. Tvam, you. Sochitam, to lament. Arhasi, deserve. Translation. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Just repeat. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Reading from chapter 2, verse number 27. Yeah, translation. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Verse number 28. अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनानि एव तत्र का परिदेवना अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनानि एव तत्र का परिदेवना अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनानि एव तत्र का परिदेवना. Translation, word to word translation. Avyaktadini, in the beginning unmanifested. Bhutani, all that are created. Vyakta, manifested. Madhyani, in the middle. Bharata, O descendant of Bharata. Avyakta, non-manifested. Nidhanani, when vanquished. Eva, it is all like that. Tatra, therefore. Ka, what? Paridevana, lamentation. Translation. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? Repeat. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation? I'll try to understand from 25. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्. रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. So here we are discussing verse number 25. We are in the middle of the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. So after Arjuna giving his various reasons and doubts of not performing his duty, which is out of compassion, out of enjoyment, no enjoyment, and destruction of dynasty, sinful activities, and many other reasons he has given, and finally he said he couldn't decide what to do, whether to renounce or to fight the war. So then he surrendered to his spiritual master, Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, in the first section, and then second section is that surrender itself, 2.7, and then Krishna started giving instruction. So that is this is the section till 30th verse, Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So mainly it is explaining in great length about the difference between the body and the soul, the characteristics of the body, characteristics of the soul. That is the main purpose. And then we are in this section. Krishna is coming to the conclusion of this section of Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. mainly is concluding about describing about the soul, and is describing about the especially the characteristics of the soul in a way where is bringing karma vada, is bringing Buddhism or atheism. So he's bringing all those different philosophies, some or the other. Either way, whatever path you take, still you have no reason to lament. You should perform the duty through gnana, through this knowledge of through various philosophies. Is bringing those points here. The first one in the 25th, we see here that avyaktoyam achinchoyam avikaryoyam. So soul is invisible. Achincho, what is it? Avyakta. Vyakta means manifested. Avyakta means invisible. Visible and invisible. And then avyaktoyam achinchoyam. Achincha means inconceivable. Our philosophy is achincha beda beda. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established. That means simultaneously one and different. So we are in quality, we are the same as the Supreme Lord, Satchidananda Vigraha, but in quantity we are different. We are the smallest is the greatest. So that is so here it is means achincha means inconceivable. And then this is a characteristic of soul. And avikaryo means unchangeable or immutable. And so soul cannot be changed. So this is about the Supreme Lord. So if we look at the actual Supreme Lord, the Super Soul, then we can understand the characteristics of the soul. Because Mamai Vanso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Aham Bija Pradapita Sarva Yonishu Konte Sambhavanti Murti. In so many places Krishna is mentioning, I am the seed giving father. The living entities are part and parcel of me. So obviously part and parcel will have the same qualities. So the super soul, if you look at invisible, the how he is invisible. When you look at he is there in each and every atom. Andantarastu paramanu chayantarastam. Same time is also there. The whole universe, everything is pervaded by his energy. Maya tadam idam jagat avyakta murtina. Avyakta means there clearly is mentioning. This is the 9th chapter, I think, 5th verse. Maya tadam sarvam means everywhere is pervaded. This whole material universe, whatever we are looking, we are in one of the universe. Everywhere is pervaded, each and every atom is there. Only because he is there, his energy is there, is pervaded each and every atom as a Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. As a Paramatma is there as super soul. That's why we are able to, soul is existing. Super soul and soul is there within the heart. What is that? Iswara Ruddeshorjana Tishtati. Brahmayadi Sarvabhutani Yantra Rudani Maya. This is like a machine. This machine is moving. Like if car has to move, you have to put petrol. And the person has to drive. The same way, because the super soul is entering into this particular form of life, living species, the human being. Now because of that, the soul is also entering. Soul, because of he wants to enjoy, he is entering particular womb of the mother and is coming out, is taking certain body in certain family. And the super soul is also entering. Without super soul, it cannot exist. Even the universe cannot exist. Krishna is mentioning, and these souls are there in each and every place, not only in earthly planet, but is there also in sun planet, is also in moon planet, is also in all the stars. Everywhere is there. Soul is there everywhere. Sarva Gatastanur Achaloyam Sanatana. So means so he is there in each and every planet, and different characteristics are there. That means some are like those who are in the earthly planet, they are of earth qualities more, because body is made up of this gross element. The earth, first one is the ether. From ether air came, from air fire came, from fire water came, from water earth came. In this way 5 elements produced when the creation has happened, material creation, material universe creation. So in earthly planet earth is more, in sun planet too hot, their fire element is more. The body is made up of fire. So like that, each and every planet there is a specific composition of the gross body, and more you go up, it is a subtle body. In the earthly planet is the mode of passion, and gross body is there, and subtle body is also there. But more we go up to the higher planets, like this is Bhuloka, Bhuvar, Swarga, and Jana, Tapa, Mahar, and Satyaloka. As you go up, the body is more and more subtle, so less gross. But more you go down, Atala, Vitala, Talatala, Mahitala, Rasatala, Padal, the gross body is more and more. That means more it's too much attachment, you cannot give up. So because of the too much conditioning, that's how the body is made up of, depending on in what mode you are operating. Because the lower planets is mode of ignorance, earthly planet is mode of passion. As you go up, mode of goodness. So that's why more it's subtler, the body is subtler, gross is less gross. So the spiritual body is completely is not, there is no gross body. Spiritual completely such is Ananda Vigraha in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha Loka. But in the material world, we have this gross bodies and subtle body with all the material qualities, which is has a mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. It is mixed up with all these three qualities. Ya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam. Because of these three qualities mixed, living entity is being conditioned, taking up these different species of life. Because of this machine, sometimes is going in one branch and to another branch, one planet to another planet, within one planet, different countries, different universes, different countries, different cities, different families. So he is jumping up and down, going to different species of life, and not only human birth but different species of life. So that's why we have to be very careful. So here it is mentioned invisible, just like the Supreme Lord as a Mayatatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktam murtina. Avyaktam means he is invisible. Even though he is there in each and every atom, he is there in each and every place. Without that, nothing. This material energy cannot work. This living entities in any of the species of life, they cannot function. They cannot even exist. So in the same way, the soul is also existing. Just like the super soul is there, because of that, the whole world, whole universe is working. All the universe are floating. The Lord is so great. He is greater than those yogis who can, just like the invisible, it is mentioned. Yogis, they can disappear. It is mentioned, Prabhupada is mentioning, because of this Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Siddhi, they can become smaller than smaller, they can become the heavier than the heaviest. So they will be in one place and disappear from there, they will go to take all the holy baths in four places. Dwaraka, and Rameswaram, Jagannath Puri, and Haridwar. Four places. Just in fraction of second they can go. All these four places they can take their bath and then come back. So that is the power of this mystic yoga and the invisible. And so imagine the what he is the Supreme Lord is the Yogeswara. He is the Iswara of all the yogis. This is all temporary. Those yogis who are performing this mystic perfections, this is all temporary within this material one universe. But the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, by his power, is floating all these big universes. We are floating one aeroplane and we are thinking that is the greatest. But we are not able to create with so much machine and so many things. We are creating that big 747. But with our capacity, we are not able to create a single fly. The Lord is creating a fly, an insect. It doesn't have any machines, anything. It can fly so easily, and we are not able to. Scientists are not able to create even a fly, even a small species of life. But the Lord's creation is so inconceivable that it is able to fly. It is able to detect things. The eating, meeting, sleeping, defending. Even the insect can do. It knows exactly where to find the bugs. So each and every species like that, they can discern. The Prabhupada mentioned the one type of the it's after aquatics, different trees, different creepers born, and then from there different types of birds. One type of bird is like eagles. We know only a few eagles, but there are certain eagles, certain birds, huge birds. They can catch monkey, they can catch big elephants and eat and pick up, just like they pick up small grains, regular birds. But these birds can pick up such a huge animal, huge personalities. They can pick up. You can imagine. We haven't seen. So we have a limited idea, limited perception, but still we claim to know everything. We claim we are greatest. We don't take the authority. But here clearly, Shastra is clearly invisible, and this way inconceivable. Just like the super soul, because of that energy is distributed everywhere. Just like the sun is there in sun planet, sun god is there, sun planet is there, and because of that, sun rays are distributed. Same way, also, because of sun, actually water is getting evaporated. The rainwater is getting evaporated, mixed in the ocean, but it is getting evaporated and then it is becoming forming a cloud. Cloud is nothing but because of sun, cloud is formed. If sun is not there, nothing can exist. We cannot even move our eyes, ears. We cannot function. So, because of sun, the cloud is formed, but the cloud cannot cover sun. The cloud is covering what? Sun rays it is covering. Just the small teeny particles of sun it is covering. We are being covered by the cloud. But that doesn't mean sun is being covered. Sun is so many miles and miles. Such a length and such a speed it goes. It cannot cover. Cloud cannot cover. That's why when you go in aeroplane, you'll know they go above the clouds. Then you see the sun also. So because it's certain height and these clouds are there, but if you go above you can see the sun. In the night time also it is night for a certain portion, but the rest of the area sun is there still. So in that way, same way the Supreme Lord's power is there and it is distributed across, just like the sun distributed in the sun rays. Same way the soul is there, invisible. You cannot understand, but you can perceive it by the consciousness. Its energy is distributed throughout the body. In this way, it is invisible. Sometimes the air we receive we see a smell, nice smell we receive. Sometimes when you go the rose smell, sometimes bad smell also. From where it is coming, we don't know which garden or which industry or where this bad smell or where this good smell, scented smell is coming from. So just like the air carries the aroma, from where it is carrying, we don't know. So same way it is invisible where it is coming from. Same way the Supreme Lord's power, because of his omnipotent, omniscient, omnipotent, that because of the potency, all these planets are floating, everything is existing. The way the ocean is staying within its orbit, so it is not moving up, going above beyond his limit. All these things, sun is staying exactly, performing his function. So nothing, not even a little bit moving here and there. So exactly it functions because of the Supreme Lord's potency. In this way, we understand this invisible nature and inconceivable. So because Lord's power is inconceivable, you cannot even conceive how this fly can fly, how these eagles are able to pick up big elephants, just the birds. You can imagine one this banyan tree, one seed, one fruit falling from that, and it can produce thousands and thousands of banyan trees. Imagine nobody can produce such a that's why it is inconceivable. Imagine the same characteristics is coming to the soul. So that's why it is mentioned avyakta means invisible, achincha means inconceivable, and then unchangeable. Just like the Mayavadis say that the soul can become, right now we are conditioned, but we can become God. But then Shastra is clearly telling that Lord is infinite. It is not means you cannot find, you cannot measure him. That's why it's parasya shaktir vividaiva sruyate swabhavaki gnana bala kriya na tasya karyam karanancha vidyate na tasya sama urdhva. So there is no one equal, no one is greater than him. So that means he is the greatest. That's why it's called asam urdhva also. So nobody can come close to him. So that is the greatest position, and he can never become, because if they say that example we can become God, that means God means that right now means God also become conditioned. See, if if God is covered by Maya, just like sun is being covered by cloud, is that possible? No. Sun is so gigantic. If sun is covered by the cloud, then There is no meaning. It doesn't make any sense, no logic. So in the same way, the Supreme Lord, because of his power, the Maya is energy. Maya is one of his energy. It is only a small portion. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. How can the Maya, that means you are making the infinite into finite. Maya is a limited portion. How many different energies are there Supreme Lord has? Just like we said, three categories: Sambit, Sandhani, Hladani. That is the Krishna Sat is categorized as Samvit, and then we categorized Chit as the knowledge potency as Sandhani, which is Balram is in charge, and then Hladani is internal energy, Anandamaya pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani. This is just three categories, and then you have so many other energies are there. Marginal energy, the living entities are marginal energy, Tatastha Shakti. Then you have external energy, this Maya Shakti. Within that Maya Shakti also you have Guna Maya, and then the Yoga Maya, this Maha Maya we are talking about. So that's why it is infinite. You cannot name it. There are so many types of energies. That's why so much tattva has to be understood. It is not going to be possible to understand. Even Ananta Seth, who is lying down all the way at the Garbhodaka ocean below, is chanting, is glorifying the Lord, and is unending. He is not able to finish. Srimad Bhagavatam, what we got is 12 cantos, is limited just, but it is unending. It cannot be finished with 12 cantos. Just some portion, the main key principles, some of the key examples are given. But it is not finished. So many unlimited incarnates. Just Manvantra avatar itself, imagine in one day of Brahma, 14 Manus change. So imagine 100 years, one day, one night, and like that. How many Manvantras within Brahma's life? Thousands and thousands of Manvantra avatars. Imagine if they start explaining what this during Manvantra, what and all happened, who and all appeared, incarnations of the Lord. That itself will be a one huge Bhagavatam. So that's why it is impossible to describe. He is infinite. We are called infinitesimal. He is the greatest Vibhu. We are called Anu. So that's why it's unchangeable. So Supreme Lord can never be changed at any time. That's why Natasya Karanam Karana. Na karmani limpante na karma palesva. He can never be bounded by anything, whether external energy or any energy, but he can be controlled by his pure devotees. Like Yashodama is binding Krishna, or cowherd boys, or you lost the game, you have to take us on your shoulders or something. That is different. That personally Lord wants to enjoy that rasa. That's why he is being controlled by his pure devotees. But that doesn't mean that he is being conditioned there. He actually wants to play that. So that is what here it means unchangeable. Same way the soul, nobody can change anything. Soul cannot be changed. You cannot even find it. First of all, it is invisible, and nothing can change. That means you cannot just like you cannot burn it. You cannot make a. That's why one by one these elements appeared. Now we only see fire weapons, different. But in the previous days, when they used to fight, they have all kinds of weapons. Weapons made with air, tornado weapons. That is we see many times. Many of you might have seen in Doordarshan this Mahabharata serial. During that time, Vayu Astra and different Astra names are given. One is made with air, one is made with fire, one is made with water. So in this way, but now who's using those weapons? Everybody is using about this fire only. Fire and earth elements more. No water weapons, no air weapons. So that technology is not there. No subtle technology. So that is also another. So that's why previous verses it is concluding here. Soul cannot be changed at all. You cannot find it. You cannot do. So that's why it is telling Arjuna. Krishna is telling Arjuna that you cannot find the soul. You cannot. It is inconceivable to understand, and you cannot change the soul. So why are you worried? Don't lament, because Bhishma, Drona, all of them, so they're all souls. So you don't think that you are killing the soul. Soul cannot be killed. Soul cannot be burned. Soul cannot be withered. So moistened. Nothing you can do. You cannot even change the soul. Just like the super soul cannot be changed. So then they are going to get, in this way Krishna is concluding here, invisible and inconceivable, immutable. So that's right, don't lament now, get up and fight. Krishna is telling in this specific verse. And now in this next verse, Krishna is mentioning here, if however you think that the soul, symptoms of life are always will be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, oh mighty armed. Oh, Krishna is sarcastically saying Arjuna is mighty armed, Mahabaho, because he knows that Arjuna is not following this principle. Krishna is mentioning about this atheism. Okay, you don't even believe that there is soul. Okay, so in that case, if you think that soul always means we are always born, always dying, so then what is the worry? Yeah, okay, you don't believe that the soul has a permanent life, soul is eternal and body is temporary. You don't believe that because you are following this Vaibhashika and Loka Etika. This is Buddhist philosophy, atheism. This is almost like, so any philosophy, Buddhist philosophy is nirvana. That means at the end, so the voidism, nothing exists. At the end of the life, when the body leaves, body dies, there is nothing exists. So nirvana, that is what. Stop this, because right now you are going through pleasures and pains. Stop this pleasures and pains and attain nirvana. That means no more pleasure, no more pains. But that highest philosophy is the bhakti yoga, where we are saying atyantika dukkha nivrutti, means actually you attain the supreme and they attain the highest pleasure, anandamaya abhyasa, developing that actual or original swarupa and original quality and original relationship. You attain, enter into Vaikuntha and serve the Supreme Lord in different various rasas. That is the actual atyantika dukkha nivrutti. Right now we are getting this happiness and distress. So that's why we have to come to the at least first beginning stage of that's why Krishna is mentioning here, don't lament. That where when we will get no lamentation, when we understand that we are the actual minute Brahman and there is a para Brahman and understand the relationship and act on that, that's when we can really come to that no lamentation. Brahma bhota prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Otherwise, there is no possibility of always we will be lamenting something or the other because of the attachment to this body and extended body. So yasyatma buddhi kunape tridadike swadi kalatradi subhamyajati, because of this identification with this body and extended body, the family. So we are thinking, so this is all, but this is all because of the temporary nature we are identifying, and it is causing this happiness and distress, sometimes happiness, sometimes, and it is already guaranteed at the beginning of the birth that we are supposed to get certain amount of happiness and certain amount of distress. However hard we try, we cannot avoid it. Tal labbhate sukham anyatra sukham. Just like the happiness you are going to get, same way distress also you are going to get. However hard we try, depending on the bank. But how you use the free will, that is the main important point. So whole Bhagavad Gita is to transform our actual activities, the karma, into eternal activities, temporary activities. Otherwise, it is going to cause great bondage. Same free will, your bank balance is there, but how you use it? Same $1,000 is given, $1,000 you can spend lavishly. But the same $1,000, if you spend it, reinvest in a proper way, and it can multiply, and then you can make much more. Same way the spiritual benefits, spiritual credits, the same free will you have, but then you use it in a proper way, in an eternal credits way, as Krishna is mentioning. Ignarde karmano anyatra, lokoyam karma bandhana, tatabdam karma kaunte mukta sangha samachara. If you use everything for the Lord Vishnu's pleasure, ignore the karma, then nothing is binding. It is actually you are using the free will in a right way, and then it is going to transform our life, and we'll never need to come back again to this material world of this happiness and distress. So that's what. But here in this verse, Krishna is telling Arjuna that okay, even if you don't believe in this soul concept, that anyway, based on your voidism, nirvana, then it's going to taking birth and then it's going to end. So forever this is going on. So what is the reason to lament? They are all anyway became old. They are going to appear again. The Bhishma, Drona, and all these you are lamenting for. What reason is there for you to lament? So that's why Krishna is bringing that philosophy of Vaibhashika and Loka Etika, which is nothing but Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist philosophy and voidism. Yeah, atheism. Now Krishna is bringing another one, 27th. He is bringing the karma philosophy. It is important. In this section, this is the important point. We need to understand there is a wonderful story and a lot of lessons to be learned from this particular verse. Jatasya hi dhruvo mutyur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharyade natvam sochitum arhasi. The one who has taken his birth is sure to die. After death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. He is telling karma theory that okay, forget about God. So many people say that you do a good work, then why should I worry? Prabhupada is quoting, I think one of the postmaster in Calcutta when he was in Calcutta, is from Arya Samaj, telling it, why should I worship? I perform good deeds, good activities, being moral. So why should I worship God? Why do I need to do anything else? Just perform activity, good activity, then I don't need to worry anything. So that's what in the here Krishna is mentioning that one who has taken his birth should to die, and after death one is should take birth again. Therefore, in unavoidable, every you perform good karma, then you get the good results. Perform bad karma, bad. So we'll just perform, keep thinking about how to perform good karma. Then you don't need to worry about worshipping God or anything, the soul and all these things. You don't need to worry. But even then also unavoidable is you perform. This fighting is the karma. You should perform good karma. Is there. You're supposed Kshatriya, you're supposed to duty is to fight. So in that way, unavoidable discharge of duty. So you should not lament. Why are you lamenting? You should fight. We'll come to this point again. So the next one, all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning and manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. What need is there to lament? This is like so the those who believe, the scientists, this living form of life, this form, different species of life are produced because of chemicals. Okay, if you think that because of chemical, then they are in the beginning. See the chemicals, you bring together chemicals and your form is produced, and then again it disappearing. So in the beginning it is there. In the beginning it is unmanifest, different chemicals. Nothing was there at that time, and then when you bring it joined together, then the life is produced. After some time again it disappears. So unmanifest in the beginning, manifest again, and then unmanifest again at the end. Just like you take the building. The building is in the beginning, the earth, water, fire, air, ether was there in the unmanifest stage. And then when you combine and make a skyscraper buildings, then that is manifested. Then again when it is dismantled, then it is unmanifested. Even when this body leaves, the soul leaves this body, then what is happening? Body is lying there. But when they bury or when they burn it, or when they throw to jackals, different religion people, those different faiths, they follow these, either bury, either throw it to jackals, or they burn. Either way, in all these things, it is going to become ash. Air and all these five elements will mix with these five elements ultimately. So nothing is remaining. So it is unmanifested in the beginning and then manifesting. Bhutva praliyate. This material energy is also just like the cloud is appearing, disappearing, appearing and disappearing. So what is the lamentation? They are going to disappear, Bhishma and Drona. Then again they are going to appear. Then what is there to lament? That's why Krishna is bringing these various points is to perform duty. There is no reason. Even I myself, even though I don't have any duty to perform, anatasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Even I am performing activities. So then what about you? Even though I am the greatest, I am the Vibhu, I don't have any duty to perform, but still I am perform. Then why, as a spiritual, as a part and parcel, you should perform discharge? But he is giving even the using the atheistic philosophy, even using the karma philosophy, even using the this even if the life is made born out of bag of chemicals. Even that philosophy also using various ideas Krishna is bringing. Ultimately, you have to work. There is no way that you can avoid the work. Now coming to this point of karma theory, by performing, by being a moral, you can perform. You can just do your activities and you can get good results. You don't need to worship God. Then that philosophy, Prabhupada is mentioning one example is one time one of the king became a lizard. That example is very instructive story. King Nrga in 64th chapter of 10th canto, it is beautifully explained how King Nrga became a lizard. So King Nrga, because this morality, just like the one time when the country is in a war, then they will send soldiers to the war zone. They are supposed to kill the enemies. At that time they will avoid. But when they come back and at the regular time when the war is over, if they do the same thing, they will be punished. So the morality is at a certain time it can change, and morality cannot continue because unless you have a godly qualities, especially when in Kali Yuga, it's even more difficult to be moral. So that's these principles, as it is mentioned, Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Yakinjam Sarvair Gunair Tattva Samasate Sura Haravavaktasam Kuto Maha Guna Davato Vahi. Those who are in the operating in the bodily platform or the subtle mental platform, they don't have good qualities because they are not mature. So mature enough, because those who are not having this knowledge of Brahma Bhota Prasannatma, that means they are not understanding that there is God, there is a superior force, and which is controlling all this everything. And then we don't understand, and we have a relationship how everything is working. Then how we will act as moral? It is not possible. So yeah, in this case, King Nrga has performed wonderful, so much pious activities. So King Nrga was the son of Ikshvaku. So the one time the sons of Krishna, grandsons of Krishna, Samba and Pradyumna and others went to a forest for a picnic, and then they became so thirsty they went and searched everywhere for water. Then they came to a well where no water, but they saw a big creature, big lizard. Then they tried to pull him up using different ropes and different mechanisms, but they couldn't pull him up from that well. Samba and Pradyumna, all of them great personalities. So they are not ordinary. Samba and Pradyumna, grandsons of Krishna, they have almost similar opulence and similar strength like Krishna. And then they went and told Krishna what they have seen, wonderful creature they couldn't pull up. Then they came back again with Lord Krishna there. And then Lord Krishna, just by using his left hand, he gave the hand, and as soon as the hand touched the lizard, he assumed a beautiful form of a demigod. Then Krishna asked, "What happened? Who are you?" Because Krishna obviously knows, but because to instruct the lesson to all his kings, the grandsons, and everybody who's there to instruct a lesson, is teaching so to them. So he asked him, then explain what has happened. Who are you, and why did this happen? Then he instructed King Nrga was used to perform so much, and he told, "I performed two wonderful things. I used to perform charitable work. I used to perform so much pious credits, perform sacrifice, and I used to also generously donate to the Brahmanas and cows." And what kind of cows? They are young. They are only just 1 year, 2 years old. Just had one or two babies, and it has a nice milk. And those kind of cows, and are not ordinary. They are decorated with gold-plated hooves and horns, silver horns, all these nicely decorated with ornaments and garlands. Those kind of cows he used to give to the brahmanas who are worthy, who are first quality brahmanas. That means who really doesn't have wealth, but they are qualified. They are performing the job of a brahmana, and then he used to invite them, and then he used to, by his own worth, by his own hard work, whatever he is getting the result using his opulence, he used to donate these kind of cows, wonderful cows, to all these brahmanas for many many years, and thousands of people, not one or two. And he boasted when Krishna told, yes, I have done these two wonderful acts and charity of the cows. These all pious credits, because obviously then Jiva Goswami is quoting, if those who are performed in the Bhakti Yoga, then he will be attached to Krishna. He will not be attached to the pious credits. However, how much pious credit he has done, that he will not be attached. He is not looking for credits back. He is not doing business with Krishna. So, but here King Nrga is just simply, that's why it is mentioned, Krishna is mentioned in third chapter, and Jiva Goswami is good. Yajnardo karmano yamnyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So, yajnartha karma, if you are performing any activity, whether it's charity or austerity or a sacrifice, whatever you do, if it is not meant for Krishna's pleasure, yajnartha karma, then everything is binding. That means, yes, we may go, become a demigod, or you may become a sage or something, a Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, or Brahma himself he may become. But then how long is it's going to last? It's going to last only a few lifetimes, or one lifetime, thousands and billions of years. And then after that, there is no guarantee. Just like he has fell down from king to lizard. Because so one time what has happened, he has given a charity like this. He was giving one time whatever charity he has given this cow to one of the brahmana. That cow somehow or the other left his home and then came back to his herd, back into the king's herd of the cows, and then he didn't know that, and then he gave that cow to some other brahmana. So that because of this, and then the second brahmana also came, whoever now got it, he gave it again second time. Then he came and argued. Then they both argued, and then they came back to the king. How come this is mine and this is mine? Both were fighting. And then they came, and then king told, okay, I will give you 1,000 in exchange. 1,000 cows I am going to give. But then both didn't agree. That no, we want, you gave it to me first. So how come you gave the cow to the other? So they didn't agree. They angrily they left the place and they went back. And then when it became time for him to leave the body, King Nrga, then Yamaraj, he went to the Yamaraj, and then Yamaraj told, you want to enjoy for the good deeds, or you want to suffer first? Which one you want? You want to suffer, or you want to enjoy first? You have lots of credit, you are going to enjoy thousands and thousands of years. So which one? Then he said, okay, I'll suffer first, then I can enjoy without any disturbance for many years. And then immediately became a lizard. Because then Shastra is quoting, then Krishna is explaining, this is the when somebody steals Brahmana's property, even though he had these moralities like this, as it is mentioned, Jatasya Dhruvar Janma Mritas Janmacha. What is that? Jatasya Dhruvar Mrityor Dhruvam Janma Mritasya cha. Yeah. So Tasya Tasmad Aparyaryarde Nattam Sochitam Arhasi. So in this way we see that means one who is born is should to die, and then one who is dying then again is going to take birth. Karma theory. So people think that why should I worship God? I can simply perform good activities. But this is instructing one who is mistreating Brahmana, one who is stealing Brahmana's property, even though this King Nrga has performed thousands and thousands of charity, huge, uncountable charity, those many charities he has performed, treating Brahmanas, but just by one activity. If somebody is performing in Bhakti Yoga, is not looking for anything in return, is attached to Krishna, for him Krishna is going to nullify. Even if there is some reaction, some offense, something by mistake he has done, Krishna will nullify that. Karmani nirdahatu kinchuda bhakti bhajam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajam. But in this case, it is mentioned, Shastra is mentioning one offense against a Brahmana, stealing one's property of Brahmana, 3 generations. If somebody is taking by force, if he is taking Brahmana's property, even not by force, generally anybody, that's why we shouldn't take any temple's property also, Same as the Brahmanas, his effect will be the more severe. The one who is stealing, one who is taking temple's property or Brahmana's property or Vaishnava's property, then 3 lifetimes he is mentioned for Brahmanas. Vaishnavas or the temple will be even more. And then it is one who is stealing Brahmana's property, even whether it's king or it doesn't matter. Then 10 generations before and 10 generations after. That means 20 generations, 21 generation is going to suffer. 21 generation. Imagine that's why then Krishna is instructing for Brahmanas, you must offer obeisances, you must worship them at any point, even if they curse you, even if they scold you, even if they use harsh words, even if they become angry with you. Don't be upset, don't be angry, don't curse them back. Otherwise, because you are going to the way, if you do against Brahmana, then you incur much more, you will have to suffer much more. The example in this case, as is mentioned. But how King Nrga became able to see Krishna? Because one time Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is commenting on one of the verses within this chapter that King Nrga, one time one of the great devotee has come approached him that I have to build a great beautiful temple for Radha and Krishna. So, and I am also looking for Bhagavad Gita in one of these books also. Can you help me? Then he has helped. King Nrga helped him to, but he helped just like that. But he doesn't have any strong devotion or anything to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So because being blessed by that devotee received what he is looking for. Then devotee blessed him. May you have his audience. May you have Lord Krishna's audience at some point in life. So because of that just one blessing from a devotee, he had received the audience. Otherwise, he not supposed to, because he simply treated Brahmanas, he has and gave charity, but he really didn't. He is only looking at pious credits. He is not really understanding that everything belongs to Krishna. He is not understanding. He is not attached to Krishna. He is attached to the pious credit. That's why there is a difference between the karma. There is a difference between karma to nishkama karma yoga, and there is a difference between nishkama karma to bhakti yoga. Because you can perform, nishkama means yes, you can offer charity, you can do so many wonderful activities, opening hospital, feed poor people, all those things without expecting anything return. Also, many people may do it, but that is nishkama karma. That means without expecting return. But that doesn't mean we are going to stop this birth, death, we are going to stop this atyantika dukkha nivrutti. That cannot be. Because unless atapi tedeva padambujadvayam janapi tattvam bhagavan mahimno, unless you attain, you take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, unless it is done for ignartha karma, for Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna's pleasure, there is no possibility to go beyond this covering of this material world. So that's why in this specific story, Krishna is instructing, because he wants to instruct, because Yadu dynasty also, they became puffed up, they are very powerful obviously. So he wants to instruct all of them to be very careful with Brahmanas. So how we treat Brahmanas, how we serve Brahmanas, even despite there may be inconveniences, but still, just like Jiva Goswami quoted, like Ambarish Maharaj, he was not he was also doing charity, he was doing so many things, but he was not attached to the charity or pious credit. He was attached to Krishna. Even though he is following the regulative principles, by just simply offering everything, using in Krishna service, thinking I am the small, this everything belongs to Krishna. In that way, he has offered everything, so that's why he didn't get any. That's why when Durvasa Muni has created a demon, tried to kill him, but he was not afraid. He was simply meditating. And when he came back, also Lord appeared there, and then he obviously Durvasa Muni asked to forgive. Ambarish Maharaj said, "No, you are the greatest yogi. Nothing to forgive. You haven't done anything." So Ambarish Maharaj had never at any time he became a proud or anything. So he didn't take as an offense at all to Durvasa Muni. That is the quality of a devotee who is attached to Krishna. So for him, it doesn't. Nothing is bothering. He's fully conscious of Krishna. He's fully always thinking of Krishna, how to serve him, how to serve everyone. And so, in that way, his thinking is that's why whether Dorasman is cursing or Dorasman is doing something, it didn't bother him much. Just like Haridas Thakur is beaten at 21 mark, it didn't matter him much. Rather, he is ready to give mercy to even to them. He was praying for them also who are beating him in 21 marketplaces. So this is a great quality of a great Vaishnava, great devotee. So that's what here King Nrga's story, by simply performing, as soon as you take birth and your living entity is going to die, so you just simply perform karma, some moral activities. And Prabhupada is also quoting Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he became immoral. Why? Because he thought, I am moral, why should I tell lie? I never told lie in my whole life. Because when Krishna asked him to do certain thing and he didn't want to do, because of that one not able to accept Krishna's instruction, then he had to visit hell for that activity. So that is the actual, whatever Krishna instructs, that is the moral, because dharmantu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. When a judge, Supreme Court judge, or whatever judge he decides, he gives a verdict, that is the final verdict. So maybe there may be many courts, but ultimately when the Supreme Court judge gives that, that is the final verdict, whatever it is. Whether you like it or not like it, that's what it is. That is the dharma. The government gives the rule, that is the dharma. So nobody can create, or they like it or not like it, you have to follow. So that morality is, so it can change, because the kings, Prabhupada mentioned, Mecha Rajanya Rupina. These days the kings are all Mechas because they are not qualified. They are sitting on the leadership post, but they are going to suffer like anything, because as it is mentioned here, the kings who are usurping Brahmanas property, mistreating Brahmanas, they have to suffer like anything. So you can imagine the king Nrga, who has performed so much pious credit, he was not acting in ignorance, but he was attached to pious credit. But because of just one small mistake, somehow the cow came back to his herd, and then he gave it to some other Brahmana, the same to which he has given to previously somebody else. And then because of just one activity, because it is stealing actually, because you have received that cow already given to somebody, and you got it supposed to go back to him, but rather you gave it to somebody else. That means you are stealing one of the Brahmana's property and giving it to somebody. That means that, so he has to incur the sinful activity and he has to suffer. And so many instructions are there. Those who are putting Brahmana in pain, they will go to the 60,000 years. He will suffer. So any of whether him or Brahmana's wife or any of his family members, or some other activities, he will go to Kumbha Pika, hell. Different 26 types of hell is there. So you imagine, that's why any time with Brahmana, Vaishnava is above Brahmana. So that's why we have to be very careful with Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, especially if it is a spiritual master, bona fide advanced devotee, then we must be even more careful. So that's why, even if somebody, that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorabhya Sahitna Amanina Manadena Kirtanaya Sadahari. Don't expect any respect, and always offer respect to others. Even somebody criticizes, somebody finds fault with you, don't worry too much about them, because imagine if this is a condition, we see that, so that because we want Krishna or we want something else. Because if everybody is if we see that everybody is a servant of Krishna, then where is the question of somebody has told this or that, criticized or this or that? Because we see everybody, even though they may not be seeing us as a servant of Krishna, but if we understand the Krishna statements, then we know that everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. So in that way, then where is the question? That means we haven't really understood the philosophy, we are not acting on that platform. So that's why then we have to face the consequences. So that's why this verse is instructing, especially Jatasya karma philosophy is not going to work. So we have to, the morality is not going to work. So we have seen, whoever is moral, Gandhi or whoever you take in the whole history, no morality, unless he has a God conscious, unless he has developed love for God, there is no possibility there, because the modes are operating, heavily acting. Devi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya. There is no possibility that you will be able to perform moral activities. So only if he is performing devotion service, then even if he, by mistake he has done something, then Krishna takes care of that. So momentarily he may be like what is the name? Nrga Maharaj became elephant or Bharat Maharaj became a deer. It is momentarily because of the certain activities. Certain other things are combining, so that's why they have taken. But ultimately, Nrga Maharaj became Gajendra, and then obviously he was delivered. But the crocodile was not. Crocodile became a demigod. But here also, you see, King Nrga became demigod. He didn't become. He didn't go back to the spiritual world. At least at this time. That might be later. He asked, okay, please always let me always remember you. That's what he said. I'll go back to my duty and let me always remember you. Like how the great devotees remember you. That was his desire. He hasn't attained it. That was his desire. If he had that same desire before, that would have been, he wouldn't have been in this situation, because all the reactions Krishna will take care. Sarvadharman parichet mam ekam jaranam aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshisham. There is no question of arising. No question arises of this sinful activity. Krishna will take care, provided we are acting on that platform. But if we are attached to the pious credit, if we are attached to my respect, my honor, what will happen to my honor? What will happen to my prestige? If somebody has said this or that, then our lifetime will go on. Nothing much is going to happen. So obviously it is our own karma first of all. In the past lives, we have to suffer. But on top of it, if you haven't developed, you haven't really understood the essence of the this philosophy, understood the serving Krishna in all in all, then we are taking all other means. So we are deviating actually. We are wasting our time actually. So that is what in crux. Obviously, those who are in authority, that is their job to make sure things are properly in place, things are going properly. But we are not in authority, so we cannot try our best to serve, try our best to fix things, try our best to do things, but it is not always possible. Everybody is individual, everybody has so many different qualities, characteristics. It is very hard to bring. So that's why rather be peaceful, rather be happy, rather serve to the best of the capacities. Somebody criticizes, somebody says wrong, somebody says something, just leave it and continue your service. We are not pleasing, we are not trying to please everybody. We are trying to please Krishna. It may not please each and everyone. So, but at some point they will also, Krishna will give them the lessons, Krishna will instruct them. So at some point they will be transformed. But it is not our duty to understand when they will transform. It is not our duty to correct them. And so that's what this verse specifically, this out of this four, this Jatasya Dhruva karma philosophy is an important philosophy, important idea to understand, because many has this conception. Even as a devotee also, many times we are so much attached to the pious credit, we are so much attached to this vrata, we are so much attached to this, that, so much austerity or the sacrifice, various things, but we miss the actual main point. Whatever you do, yena tena prakarena mana Krishna nishevayet. So smartavyasa satato Vishnu vismartavyasa najatijit. However you look at Rupa Goswami, clearly somehow or the other mind must be focused on Krishna. So always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So whatever rule that will make this happen, then that's what we have to follow. So if you are always thinking about this has happened, that has happened, then we are not remembering Krishna. We are remembering all other things. So that is not so important. So this has happened to Prabhupada, this has happened to all. Not only in Bhakti Siddhanta time also. Didn't he face his opposition? No, obviously. He had faced when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was there, and then all these Smarta Brahmanas went against him and then told, then who is the greatest, Brahmana or Vaishnava? There was a big debate. Then Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, and not only that, so many people he has to face. So many caste Goswamis, then they said, no, we are the Nityananda Vamsa, we are the Advaita Vamsa, we are the actual original Sampradaya. These are so many unwanted philosophies has come about. So even those people who are staying in Radhakund and doing all kinds of things, and Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to speak from Upanishad when he went to Radhakund. He was not speaking the confidential past tense because he could understand what their consciousness is. So accordingly, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur spoke very strongly from the Upanishads. There should be regulations. Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Adi Pancharatrike Vidimana, Aikantiki Bhaktir Utpataiva Kalpate. When we don't follow the regulation, rules and regulations, we think that we are situated in the highest level and we become sahaji and we act, then that is the greatest chaos, and the greatest disturbance, not only ours and also the all others who are surrounded who are trying to follow us. So that's why always the rules and regulation must be followed, and under the bona fide acharya and advanced devotee, we must be carefully follow those instructions, so that even Bhakti Siddhanta, great, all the acharyas has faced so much opposition, so much difficulties, so much criticism they have to receive, so much they have to face. They didn't get easily, but they could do it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also same thing, that one time this government couldn't handle it. One of the yogi, he tried to do all kinds of mischiefs. He claimed he is God, and then he used to attract all the female disciples, and so much nonsense he used to do. Then he came to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he has so much yogic power, this personality. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur challenged him, and then you are claiming to be God, and can you show your universal form? Can you show this? And from the Shastra is quoted, do you have all these qualities? And so he couldn't answer, and then he could understand he's not an ordinary person. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then immediately they caught hold of him, they put him in prison. So he, and then because of his yogic power, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife had to suffer fever, almost like a losing life. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur didn't get, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur got fever also. He didn't care. He was fully convinced of Krishna. So he's a pure devotee of the Lord, obviously. Seventh Goswami call him. So finally, when he was put in prison, at some point he told, remove his hair. So then they shaved him up. That's it. That day his whole power is gone. When as soon as they shaved his hair, so all that power of yogic power is in the hair. Then he died. He gave up his life. So in this way, we see that opposition was always there in each and so, but they didn't. Their center point is Krishna always. They didn't care so much. So that's the same way by following their principle. So morality is not going to work without having developing love for God. How long it's going to work? Because three modes of material nature is acting very heavily. So that's what we have to take the point. Somehow or the other, we have to serve Krishna, remember Krishna, and in that way, that should be our center point in our life. No matter what is happening surrounding us, we shouldn't be so much bothered or caught up in those reflections. It's not going to help, because mind is in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to concentrate our mind, and then if you keep on putting all these things in our brain and mind, then there is no way we can concentrate on the actual real necessity of developing love for Krishna. So that it is very difficult at that point. So that is the main lesson from this these four verses: how to remember Krishna, how to perform Bhakti Yoga, not just simply caught up with the morality, seemingly morality in this material world. With that, I will stop here. Any questions?